Hello and welcome to Swinging for Profits. Today is Monday, August 31st. It's been a few days since we've updated on here, and we've had quite a turnaround since the last time we talked here. Market's been able to rally itself back up here the last few days. Friday started the shakiness back into the down territory. Um, you know, if you don't believe that these markets are manipulated, the writing is here in the charts. Um, they say it's based on supply and demand. I really don't believe that. This is based on buy and sell orders. Okay, so, and you can see here, there was no one to buy until it got down to these levels. There may have been a bunch of orders to buy at one point in time, but if those orders are removed and they're advised by someone that has a better idea that, hey, we can get this at a better price and lowered back down, the markets will go there. I once heard an interview with a old floor trader that said that, give him $1 million and he can move these markets. Think about that. Stop and think about it. Stop and think about the flash crash that happened back in, what was it, 2010? Um, you know, the market's flooded with orders and it can't balance itself. It's going to go where it can. There may have been orders here. Those orders are pulled. Well, that creates a void. Is that supply and demand? Something that has hundreds of millions, and let's take the IWM for example, hundreds of millions of shares outstanding and only trades an average of, I'm going to say, about, I'm going to be generous with this, about 60,000 shares a day. How can there not be a supply and demand issue? It's about a buy and a sell issue, matching buyers with sellers. Okay, so right now what I see here is what they call a classic dead cat bounce. We hit these lows, and hopefully anybody watching wasn't that person that was trying to short the market down here, because what we've had here is a short covering rally for now. People taking profits that were short up in this area, taking them off the table, so that's causing a short-term buy. Was quite a move. We went 5 points in 3 days, 3.5 days. That's a pretty good move in anybody's part. Friday we got in short. We took a IWM second week of September put, 109.50. So I'm looking for the markets to come back down around this range again. Got in at 85 cents. It didn't fare too well today. Didn't get the drop like I thought we would. NASDAQ, S&P, Dow, all had pretty decent drops today. The reason I chose the IWM is that kind of does its own thing. It doesn't follow the other three markets, but what will happen is if these markets continue to trend lower, like I think they will, it's going to drag that one down, and when that one goes, it goes fast. We can look after hours here tonight. It's not faring too well after our hours. We got the S&P down 24 points. Last time I looked, Dow was down 184 points. We had the NASDAQ down roughly about 54 points. Russell don't trade after hours like these do, but it does trade a little bit after hours, and that's pushing down 11 points. So hopefully that can continue that downward movement. Get us back down here. I will point out, I do have some concerns. I seen a news article the other day that someone said, oh yeah, the markets put a bottom in just like they did back here in October. This bottom that was put back in was extremely rare. And once again, if you're not taking this stuff and looking at it and analyzing it, let's see if we can bring up a 2-year chart real quick here. You know, let's look at this move back in October. And let's see if we can take in that price, which was pretty significant price drop here. You know, the market put in a 12.5%, 12.65 to be exact drop. You know, does that mean the same thing's going to happen? No, we've got a whole nother issue going on here. You know, this is a significant drop from the high that was put in back in June 23rd to the low that was made there. That was a 17% drop. That was insanely excessive. The problem is that drop was so fast, you know, quote unquote bear territory is a drop of 20% or more in a market. What I'm looking at and what is concerning me right now, I'll bring up a weekly chart here. What I use this for, these are just moving averages. I got a 21-day, a 55, an 89, and a 200. What I use these for is to kind of help me identify and follow the trends. I like to see when the market is moving up, all of these are moving up, and there is nice spacing between them. Like you can see, it's done over the last 3 years. What concerns me and what I really start to look for is when these start to get constricted and when they start to turn and start pointing down. I don't care about crossovers or prices above and below as much as I care about the direction. I'm looking at something totally different, making my trading decisions on these. What I'm using these for is to help me identify and stay with the trend. You know, had you thought that, you know, back here was going to give you a, you know, the end of the world was coming, the market was free falling. No, this provided you a great entry to get back in here. The markets were sideways. Trends was still up. You had great spacing. Now what I'm seeing here, and with all the markets, we've got this quick turn. They're starting to constrict. The IWM looks the best, but if we go and bring up a chart of the ES, you will see they're starting to constrict, okay, and they're starting to turn. If this market cannot find its footing fairly quick, we could see some more potential downside that could get pretty nasty. You know, we're looking back at the Dow here. You know, it's already turned. The 20 starting to cross and start pointing down. Once all these start to turn themselves, you can look back at the past history, bring it up and take a look at it yourself on a weekly chart. You know, once these start to turn and they start going down, you see some pretty quick downward action into these markets. You know, is that going to be the case for this? I don't know. Time will tell. Like I said, the market, if it cannot find its footing, we could be seeing some fairly quick downturns into these markets, which are going to provide themselves for some great opportunities to get in and, you know, find some other things. For now, I'm taking a short position. I'm looking to go back to the lows that were made. You know, we'll bring up the Russell again. I like my position on this one. I'm going to look to see first here and then see if we can't get back into these October lows, which would put us right about the 200-day moving average on a weekly. If we bring that daily chart back up there, you know, that's going to get us right back down here. Time will tell. We'll see. Stay posted for more updates as they come. If you like what you see here, subscribe to my page. Thanks.